Hi, everyone. There's a specific kind of recognition that happens when you meet someone who fits not perfectly, not in the fairy tale sense, but in this quiet, undeniable way where something in you just knows, like your nervous system exhales, like you've been holding your breath your whole life and suddenly you can breathe. Um, what I want to talk about today is that feeling of alignment with someone when the connection doesn't require force, when it just flows, when being around them feels easier than being away from them. Let me paint this for you. You may have someone in your life who's always felt different than everyone else, where conversations go deeper, faster, where silence is comfortable instead of awkward, where you don't have to perform or explain or translate yourself. Some people experience this as disorienting. They're so used to working for connection, to earning interest, to proving their worth, and then someone shows up who just sees them without effort, without convincing. It might feel too easy, like something must be wrong. Like if it's not hard, it's not real. Like the struggle is supposed to be part of it. But what if struggle isn't required? What if the right connections are supposed to feel natural instead of forced? Let's pause here. This reflection invites you to consider, is there someone in your life where the connection feels effortless in a way that's almost unsettling? Someone who you don't have to chase, who shows up consistently, who communicates clearly, who treats your relationship like it matters without you having to convince them it does. You may have compared every other relationship to this one, and everyone else falls short, not because they're bad people, but because with everyone else, you feel like you're working, adjusting, compromising parts of yourself to fit. It's possible this person has been present from the start, not necessarily romantically. Maybe you were friends first. Maybe you met and the timing was wrong. Maybe you've known each other for years before anything shifted. But even at the beginning, even when nothing was defined or official or clear, there was something there, a pull, an ease, a sense of rightness that didn't have language yet. Some people ignore this feeling. They pursue relationships that are harder, more dramatic, more uncertain, because those feel more exciting. The easy connection feels too stable, too boring, too predictable. You may have been one of those people, dating others, trying to make something work with someone who required constant effort, telling yourself that the person who feels easy is just a friend, just a backup, just not quite enough. And meanwhile, they've been there, steady, available, loving you in whatever capacity you'd allow. It can feel like you've been looking everywhere else for something you already had, like you've been searching for home while standing in it. This reflection invites you to consider, have you been overlooking someone who's been consistent while chasing people who are inconsistent? There's something specific about what meant to be actually means. It's possible it doesn't mean destiny or fate or some cosmic plan that predetermined this. It means compatibility. It means alignment. It means two people whose values, goals, communication styles, and emotional needs fit together in a way that doesn't require constant negotiation. It means you want the same kind of life. You handle conflict in compatible ways. You have similar definitions of commitment, intimacy, partnership. You bring out good things in each other instead of triggering wounds constantly. That's not magic. That's just compatibility. And compatibility is rare enough to feel magical even when it's completely grounded in reality. Some people reject the idea of being meant for someone because it sounds passive, like you don't have to work for it, like it just happens without choice or effort. You may feel resistance to thinking about this person as the one because it feels too big, too certain, too much pressure. What if you're wrong? What if you choose them and it doesn't work? What if meant to be is just a story people tell themselves? But meant to be doesn't mean guaranteed. It doesn't mean effortless forever. It doesn't mean you never have to choose them or work on things or grow together. It just means the foundation is solid. The connection is real. The fit is there. What you build on that foundation, that's still up to both of you. It can feel less romantic to think of connection as compatibility instead of destiny. But sustainability is more romantic than drama. Peace is more valuable than passion that burns out. This reflection invites you to consider, does this person offer you sustainability or just intensity? Let me talk about what loved you from the start means. It's possible their feelings weren't immediate. Love at first sight isn't how most real love works, but there was something from the beginning: interest, curiosity, a sense that you were worth knowing. And as they got to know you, as they saw more of who you actually are, the feelings deepened, not because you performed or convinced or earned, but because who you are naturally resonates with who they are. They've seen you at your worst. You're messy, you're difficult, you're unreasonable, and they're still here, not tolerating you, not putting up with you, just accepting you. Some people think love is about finding someone who only sees your good parts, but real love is being fully seen, flaws included, and chosen anyway. You may have tested this person without meaning to, pushed them away, been difficult, been unavailable, been focused on someone else, and they stayed. Not desperately, not pathetically, just steadily. That consistency, that's love. Not the dramatic declarations, not the grand gestures, the staying, the showing up, the being there, even when it's not exciting or new or easy. It can feel anticlimactic, like love is supposed to be more than just someone being reliable, more than someone being kind, more than someone choosing you repeatedly. But that is love. The rest is just infatuation dressed up as romance. This reflection invites you to consider, has this person proven their love through consistency more than words? There's something about nobody else that I need to address. It's possible you've dated other people, explored other options, tried to make yourself interested in someone who seemed good on paper, and it just didn't work, didn't feel right, didn't have that same ease. And you kept comparing, kept measuring everyone against this person, kept wishing whoever you were with would make you feel the way this person makes you feel. That comparison isn't fair to anyone. Not to the people you're dating who deserve someone fully present, not to yourself who deserves to stop pretending, not to this person who you keep mentally returning to. Some people stay in wrong relationships longer than they should because they're afraid of admitting they want someone who might not want them back, afraid of ruining a friendship, afraid of being vulnerable with someone who actually matters. You may be using other relationships as a shield, a way to avoid dealing with what you actually feel for this person, a way to protect yourself from the risk of real intimacy. But those other relationships aren't going to suddenly become what you're looking for. You can't force compatibility. You can't create that ease with someone it's not naturally there with. It can feel cruel to date people while knowing they're not what you want, like you're wasting their time, like you're using them to distract yourself from your real feelings. And maybe you are, and maybe it's time to stop. This reflection invites you to consider, are you avoiding this person by staying busy with people who don't fit? Let me talk about what might be holding you back. It's possible you're afraid this person doesn't feel the same way. that their consistency is just friendship, that you're reading romantic potential into something that's platonic for them. And that fear is paralyzing you, keeping you from being honest, keeping you from asking directly, keeping you in this limbo where you get their presence but not their partnership, or you're afraid of timing. Maybe one of you is in a relationship. Maybe you're in different life stages. Maybe the practical obstacles feel too big to overcome. Some people use timing as an excuse to avoid vulnerability. If the timing's wrong, you don't have to risk rejection. You can keep the fantasy alive without testing if the reality would hold. You may be more comfortable in the potential than you would be in the actual, because potential is safe. Actual requires risk. But potential doesn't keep you warm. Potential doesn't build a life with you. Potential is just another word for waiting. It can feel wise to wait for perfect timing, but perfect timing is a myth. There's just timing and what you choose to do with it. This reflection invites you to consider, if you're waiting for perfect, you might be waiting forever. There's something about choice I need to emphasize. It's possible you think meant to be means you don't have to choose, that it'll just happen naturally, that if it's right, it won't require courage or communication or risk. But that's not how this works. You can be perfectly compatible with someone and still never be together if neither of you is brave enough to say something. You have to choose them actively, intentionally. You have to decide that this connection is worth the risk of vulnerability, worth the discomfort of honesty, worth the potential of rejection. Some people wait for the other person to go first, to confess, to make it easy, to remove all the risk so they can just respond instead of initiate. You may be one of those people, waiting for them to be brave so you don't have to be, hoping they'll say something so you can say, me too, instead of, I have feelings for you. But what if they're waiting for you? What if they feel the same way, but they're just as scared? What if you're both sitting in this stalemate, both afraid, both waiting? Someone has to go first, and it might have to be you. It can feel unfair. Like if they really loved you from the start, they should have said something by now. They should have made a move. They should have made it clear. But maybe they have been making it clear through actions, through presence, through consistency. And you've been waiting for words when the behavior has been saying it all along. This reflection invites you to consider, what are you actually waiting for? And what would happen if you stopped waiting and just asked? Let me talk about what you might need to do. It's possible you need to have a conversation, a real one, where you name what you feel, where you ask if they feel it too, where you risk the comfort of the current dynamic for the possibility of something more. I value our friendship and I don't want to make things weird, but I think there might be something more here. Am I reading that wrong? That's it. That's the question that changes everything. And whatever answer you get, you'll know. And knowing is better than wondering. Some people are terrified of this conversation because it feels like gambling with something precious. If they don't feel the same, you might lose the friendship, lose the connection, lose access to them entirely. You may be trying to calculate if the risk is worth it, if the potential gain outweighs the potential loss, if it's better to have them as a friend than risk not having them at all. But you're already losing something by not asking. You're losing the possibility. You're losing time. You're losing the chance to actually build something real instead of just imagining it. It can feel safer to keep things as they are, but safety isn't the same as satisfaction. And you can't build a life on safety alone. You remain in complete control of what you do here. You can speak up, you can wait longer, you can test the waters, you can create distance and see if they pursue. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has brought up specific feelings about a specific person, maybe clarity, maybe fear, maybe the recognition that you've been avoiding something you already know. Whatever it is, honor it. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Trust yourself. Before we close, I want to ask you something. If you knew this person felt the same way, what would you do differently tomorrow? Drop it in the comments if you want. And this, what's the actual worst thing that happens if you're honest about how you feel? You're meant to be with this person, nobody else. This person has loved you from the start, is less than Hasson. Zero hash is greater than, maybe, if the compatibility is real, if the feelings are mutual, if you're both willing to choose each other. Or maybe not. Maybe you're idealizing them. Maybe the ease is just friendship. Maybe what you think is love is just comfort with familiarity. Both are possible. And you won't know which until you're brave enough to find out. Not eventually. Right now. Today. Trust yourself with this. Trust that you can handle whatever answer you get. Trust that honesty is better than assumption. Trust that the connection is strong enough to survive truth. I'll see you in the next one. And listen, meant to be requires choosing to be. Compatibility is the foundation. Courage is what builds on it. Start there. Everything else will follow.